We're going to talk about MQLs, what they actually mean and why most companies, they get them wrong. I was talking to a CEO a while back and he was very frustrated. He said, Hindal, my marketing team, they tell me that we generated 500 MQLs last month, but sales are saying that they are garbage. No one can agree on what's working and what is not. And I'm sitting here wondering why we are spending so much on marketing if sales won't even call the leads. Does this sound familiar to you? This is one of the most common fights in business. Marketing says they're doing their job. Look at all these leads that we are providing. And then sales are saying the leads are worthless. And finance is stuck in the middle trying to figure out if marketing spend is actually generating any return. So the problem usually is not marketing, and it is definitely not sales. The problem is that nobody agrees on what an MQL actually is. I'm Hindol. I've been a CFO for over 25 years in the Valley, and today I want to break down MQLs in a way that actually makes sense and helps you stop this finger pointing. So let's get on with it. What is an MQL? Let's start with the very basics. MQL stands for Marketing Qualified Leads. It is supposed to be a person or a company that has shown enough interest in what you are selling that they are worth passing to sales for follow-up. And the key word is qualified. Not just anyone who hits your website, not just anyone who downloaded a white paper. A qualified lead, someone who meets certain criteria that suggests that they might actually buy. Now here's where it gets really messy. Every company, they define MQL differently, and that is actually okay. It shouldn't be different. It should be different actually based on your business. But the problem is when the definition is vague or when the marketing and sales, they don't agree with what the definitions are. I've seen companies where an MQL is literally just someone who filled out a form, any form. And that's not a qualified lead. They're just a name in a database. I've seen other companies where the MQL bar is so high that marketing can barely generate any, and that is not helpful either. So the right definition is somewhere in the middle. It should be specific enough that sales believes that the leads are worth their time, but not so restrictive that you're only passing, 5 leads a month? So the MQL criteria, what matters? What are the key elements that matter in MQL? What should go into your MQL definition? Let me walk you through some of the things that I believe actually matter. The first is fit. Does this person or company match your ideal customer profile? Are they in the right industry? Are they the right size company? Are they in the right geography? Do they have the kind of problem that you can solve? And this is basic stuff, but a lot of companies, they skip it. They get excited about any lead, even if it's a company that would never buy. A 10-person startup is not going to buy your enterprise software. They don't count them as an MQL. The second component is engagement. What has this person actually done? Did they visit your pricing page? Did they attend a webinar? Did they download multiple pieces of content at different times? Did they request a demo? So not all engagement is equal. Someone who visited your homepage once is very different from someone who watched your product demo, who saw the video, who read the case studies and then visited your pricing page. Now the second person is way more interested. The third is timing. Some signals suggest someone is actively looking to buy. Visiting the pricing page is one, requesting a demo is another, filling out a contact sales form is a strong signal. These are what we call high intent actions. Then there are other signals that suggest that someone is just learning, reading a blog post. They are downloading an educational ebook or paper. They are attending a webinar, and these are good. They're engaging with your brand, but they don't mean that they constitute someone that are ready to buy now. So your MQL definition should weigh these things appropriately. High fit plus high engagement plus high intent. And that is a strong MQL. Low fit or low engagement, maybe they're not ready yet. Now there's something called lead scoring basics. This brings me to lead scoring. This is how most companies, they operationalize their MQL definition. Now, lead scoring is a system where you assign points to different actions and attributes. And when someone crosses a certain threshold, they become an MQL. So for example, you might give 10 points for being in a target industry. You might give 10 points for being at a company with over 100 employees, 5 points for downloading an ebook, 15 points for attending a webinar, 25 points for visiting the pricing page, 30 points for requesting a demo. You get what I'm saying? So when someone hits, let's say 50 points, they become an MQL and get passed on to sales. Now this sounds very, very scientific, but let me be very honest with you. Most lead scoring systems are kind of made up. You pick the numbers that feel right and then adjust over time based on the feedback loop. And that's totally fine. The point isn't to have a perfect formula. The point is to have a consistent, agreed upon way of deciding which leads are ready for sales. The key is to actually look at your results. Take the leads that became customers and start working backward. What did they have in common? What actions did they take before buying? And use that to refine your scoring as your frame of reference. And here's an important tip. Your scoring model should evolve. What worked last year might not work this year. Review it and review it regularly. I would say at least quarterly, and adjust based on what you're seeing. The other aspect is to consider the MQL handoff. Getting the MQL definition right is only half the battle. The other half is what happens when an MQL, they get passed on to sales. And this is where a lot of companies, they fall apart. Marketing is generating an MQL, they throw it over the wall to sales and then nothing. Sales do not follow up, or they follow up once and give up. And then marketing says, we gave you 500 leads, and sales says those leads were terrible, and no one wins. So here's what needs to happen, I think. First, there needs to be a service level agreement between marketing and sales. When marketing agrees to pass leads that meet the agreed upon criteria, sales agrees to follow up within a certain time frame. I would say 24 hours for inbound leads and 48 hours at the outside. Second, the sales need to actually work the leads. This sounds obvious, but follow-up rates are often shockingly low. Measure it. What percentage of MQLs get contacted? How many contact attempts have been made? Third, there needs to be a feedback loop. If sales should be telling marketing which leads were good and which weren't. If a lead was unqualified, maybe they had the wrong contact information, or they were not a real buyer, and that's valuable information. Now, marketing can use it to improve that scoring model that I talked to you about. And the fourth is tracking the conversion. What percentage of MQLs, they become SQLs, sales qualified leads? What percentage become opportunities? What percentage close? And if you're not tracking this, you have no idea if your MQL definition is working. And there are common MQL mistakes that one often makes. And let me run you through some of these common mistakes that I've seen. Mistake number one, setting the bar too low. If everyone who fills out any form is an MQL, you're going to have a lot of MQLs, but they are not going to convert well, and sales will stop trusting them. Quality matters more than quantity. Mistake number two, not involving sales in the definition. Marketing should not define MQLs by themselves. This needs to be a joint decision. Sit down together and agree on what a good lead looks like. If sales does not buy in, they are not going to work the leads. Mistake number three, don't set it and forget it. Your MQL definition should change over time. Your product changes, your market changes, your ideal customer changes. If you're using the same scoring model you set up 3 years ago, well, it's probably stale. Mistake number four, focusing only on volume. A lot of marketing teams are measured on MQL volume. Generate 500 MQLs this quarter, but that incentivizes quantity over quality. It's better to measure MQL to opportunity conversion or MQL to revenue. And that way, quality matters. Mistake number five, no feedback from sales. So marketing never hears what happened to the leads that they passed. They will not be able to improve. Build in regular feedback sessions where sales tells marketing what is working and what isn't. So in conclusion, let me give you 3 things that I think you ought to remember from the session. An MQL, it should be based on fit. It should be based on engagement and intent, not just anyone who fills out a form. Define it clearly and get sales to agree. Number 2, lead scoring is a tool to operationalize your decision. Assign points based on actions and attributes, but review and adjust it regularly based on actual results. Number 3, the handoff to sales is just as important as a definition. Have a service level agreement. Track the follow-up rates and build a feedback loop so both teams can improve. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about how MQLs connect to SQLs and how to think about your full lead funnel from marketing to close deal. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next session when we talk more about SQLs. Take care. Bye-bye.